Laziness is one of the greatest lies ever told to the human mind. It doesn't arrive looking dangerous. It doesn't knock on your door wearing the face of failure. It comes quietly. It sounds reasonable. It tells you to rest for 5 more minutes. It tells you there will be a better time tomorrow. It convinces you that one more day won't make a difference. And because the excuse sounds harmless, you welcome it. What you don't realize is that every time you listen, you're handing another piece of your future to a habit that never intends to give it back. Very few people wake up and decide they want to waste their lives. Nobody dreams of becoming average. Nobody plans to leave their potential unexplored.
Yet every year, millions of dreams disappear. Not because people lack talent, but because they allowed comfort to become stronger than commitment. They weren't defeated by impossible obstacles. They were defeated by ordinary excuses repeated so often that excuses became their lifestyle. I want you to understand something that changed my own thinking. Laziness is rarely about having no energy. Most of the time, it's misplaced energy. Notice how someone can say they're too tired to work on their goals, but somehow have enough energy to spend hours scrolling through videos, watching television, or worrying about things they cannot control. The energy never disappeared. It simply went somewhere else.
That's why the battle isn't against your body. The battle is for your attention. Where your attention goes, your life follows. There was an old blacksmith who spent his entire life forging steel. A young man once asked him why some pieces of metal became strong swords while others remained useless scraps. The blacksmith smiled, held a glowing piece of iron over the fire, and said, "The fire treats every piece the same. What determines the outcome is whether the metal stays in the process long enough to be transformed." That answer applies to every life. Challenges visit everyone. Opportunity visits everyone. Failure visits everyone. But transformation belongs to the people who remain in the process. Laziness whispers, "Leave the fire."
Discipline says, "Stay a little longer."
Every successful person you've ever admired reached moments when they wanted to quit. The difference wasn't that they enjoyed suffering more than anyone else. The difference was that they understood something powerful. Temporary discomfort creates permanent strength. Temporary comfort creates permanent regret. You have to decide which one you're willing to live with. I remember watching a farmer before sunrise one winter morning. The ground was frozen. The wind was cold enough to make most people stay inside. Yet there he was, preparing the fields. I asked him why he worked so hard when there was nothing growing yet.
He smiled and said, "The harvest always rewards the people who prepare before anyone else believes it's time."
Think about that. The harvest never rewards intentions. It rewards preparation. Your future works exactly the same way. The opportunities you pray for tomorrow are often built by the habits you choose today. Most people wait until they feel motivated. Successful people become motivated because they begin moving. Action creates momentum. Momentum creates confidence. Confidence creates consistency. Consistency creates results. Results strengthen belief. That's how transformation begins. Not by waiting, by moving. One small step at a time. Many people believe laziness is solved by finding more motivation. I don't believe that.
Motivation is temporary. Some mornings you'll wake up inspired. Other mornings you'll feel exhausted. If your future depends on how you feel, your future will always be unstable. Instead of chasing motivation, build systems, build routines, build standards. Because standards continue working even after emotions disappear. Imagine brushing your teeth. You don't negotiate with yourself every morning. You simply do it. Why? Because it became part of your identity. The same thing can happen with discipline. You can become someone who exercises without debating it. Someone who reads daily without forcing it. Someone who finishes work before entertainment. Not because you're extraordinary, because repetition eventually changes identity. Another lesson life teaches is this. Your comfort zone expands every time you refuse to obey it.
Think about the first time you learned to swim. The water felt uncomfortable. You wanted to climb back out. Weeks later, the same water felt normal. Nothing changed about the pool. You changed. Life works the same way. The work you're avoiding today often becomes easy once you've done it enough times. The problem isn't difficulty. The problem is unfamiliarity. Everything feels hard before it becomes familiar. Everything feels uncomfortable before it becomes normal. That is why you must keep going through the awkward stage. Don't quit because you're still learning. Keep moving until growth replaces fear.
There was a young musician who wanted to master the piano. After 3 months, he became frustrated. "I still make mistakes," he complained. His teacher looked at him and asked, "Compared to whom?" The student began naming famous musicians. The teacher smiled. "You're comparing your 3rd chapter to someone else's 20th year. Comparison has destroyed more discipline than failure ever has. Stop measuring your beginning against someone else's middle. Measure yourself against the person you were yesterday. Did you become slightly better, slightly wiser, slightly stronger? Then you're already moving in the right direction. Laziness often grows where comparison lives. Because comparison convinces you that if you can't become great immediately, you shouldn't begin at all. That's a lie. Every master was once a beginner. Every champion once struggled. Every expert once looked inexperienced. Nobody escapes the process. So stop waiting until you're ready. Read while you're still learning. Build while you're still uncertain. Practice while you're still imperfect. The greatest opportunities in life rarely wait for perfect people. They reward prepared people. Another truth you must never forget is this: every day you delay your purpose, someone else is developing the discipline you refuse to build. While you're making another excuse, someone else is studying. Someone else is practicing. Someone else is improving. Someone else is becoming the person they dreamed of becoming. Don't resent their success later if you ignored your opportunity today. 1 hour invested every day becomes hundreds of hours every year. 1 chapter every day becomes dozens of books. 1 workout every day becomes a stronger body. 1 disciplined morning becomes a disciplined life. Small actions become massive outcomes because consistency multiplies what motivation can never sustain. The greatest prison isn't made of steel. It's made of postponed decisions. I'll start Monday. I'll begin next month. I'll wait until life gets easier. Listen carefully. Life rarely becomes easier first. You become stronger first. Then what once seemed difficult begins to feel manageable. You don't need more time. You need fewer excuses. You don't need another motivational quote. You need 1 courageous decision. The decision to move before you feel like moving. The decision to work before inspiration arrives. The decision to become the kind of person who refuses to negotiate with laziness. Because every single day you win that battle, you're not just completing another task. You're becoming someone laziness can no longer control. And once you reach that point, you'll begin to notice something that most people never experience. The things that once required constant motivation become part of your identity. You stop asking yourself whether you feel like doing the work. You simply do it. Not because every day is exciting, but because you've trained yourself to understand that your future is too valuable to be controlled by temporary emotions. One of the greatest misunderstandings about discipline is that people believe disciplined individuals have stronger willpower than everyone else. That's rarely true. What they usually have are stronger standards. There is a difference. Willpower depends on emotion. Standards depend on decisions. If your standard is to wake up at 6, you don't negotiate with yourself every morning. If your standard is to finish what you start, quitting is no longer an option you entertain. If your standard is to respect your time, distractions begin losing their power. Raise your standards and your habits will begin rising with them. There was once a sculptor who spent months working on a single statue. People would visit his workshop and laugh because every day it looked almost exactly the same. One visitor finally asked, "Why does it seem like nothing is changing?" The sculptor put down his tools and replied, "You're looking at the statue. I'm shaping the man who creates it." That answer stayed with me, because every disciplined action is doing 2 things at once. You're completing the task, and you're building the person capable of completing even greater tasks tomorrow. Never underestimate who you're becoming while you're busy working. Laziness doesn't just steal time. It steals confidence. Every promise you break to yourself quietly
weakens the trust you have in your own word. You tell yourself you'll wake up early. You don't. You promise yourself you'll start the project. You delay it. You decide you'll exercise. You make another excuse. After enough broken promises, something dangerous happens. You stop believing yourself. And when you no longer trust your own word, every goal becomes heavier than it should be. Now think about the opposite. Imagine keeping one promise today, then another tomorrow, then another the next day. Slowly, confidence returns. Not because someone praised you,
Because you've proven to yourself that your word means something. The strongest confidence in the world isn't built by compliments. It's built by integrity. Integrity is simply keeping the promises nobody else knows you made. Another lesson life teaches is that laziness often disguises itself as waiting for the perfect moment. People say, I'll start when I have more money. I'll start when life slows down. I'll start when I feel confident. But let me ask you something. When has life ever been completely perfect? There will always be another challenge, another responsibility, another reason to postpone. If you keep waiting for perfect conditions, you'll spend your life watching opportunities pass by.
farmers don't wait until harvest season to decide they want a crop. They prepare long before the first fruit appears. Your future deserves that same preparation. There is an old story about two woodcutters who competed to see who could cut down the most trees in one day. The younger man worked without stopping. The older man took short breaks every hour. By sunset, the older man had cut down far more trees. The younger man became frustrated. "How did you beat me when you rested so often?" The older man smiled and answered, "I wasn't resting. I was sharpening my axe." There is wisdom in that. Killing laziness doesn't mean staying busy every second. It means making sure your time has purpose. Rest to recover, not to escape.
Pause to become stronger, not to avoid responsibility. There's a difference between recovery and avoidance. Recovery prepares you to continue. Avoidance keeps you from beginning. Learn the difference. One of the greatest enemies of discipline today isn't difficulty. It's distraction. Never before has the world offered so many ways to waste an entire day without realizing it. Hours disappear one scroll at a time. Dreams disappear one distraction at a time. Attention has become one of the most valuable resources on earth. Protect it. Protect your mornings. Protect your evenings. Protect your focus. Every minute you give to meaningless distraction is a minute you can never invest in becoming the person you're capable of becoming. Your attention is your life. Spend it carefully. Remember this: success is rarely about doing extraordinary things once. It's about doing ordinary things extraordinarily well. Showing up, being prepared, keeping your word, finishing what you begin, learning continuously, choosing discipline when excuses seem easier. Those habits look small, but over years, they separate average lives from extraordinary ones. There will come mornings when your bed feels more comfortable than your dreams. Get up anyway. There will be days when progress feels invisible. Continue anyway. There will be weeks when nobody notices your effort. Keep working anyway. Because the greatest rewards are often reserved for people who remain faithful when no one is watching. Imagine your future self standing in front of you, 5 years older, 10 years wiser. Looking back at this exact day, what would that person beg you to do? Would they ask you to waste another afternoon making excuses? Or would they thank you for making one difficult decision that changed everything? Your future is watching the decisions you're making today. Don't disappoint the person you're becoming. Every sunrise gives you another opportunity, another chance to keep your word, another chance to become stronger, another chance to defeat the version of yourself that always chooses comfort over growth. And understand this clearly. Laziness is not your identity. It is a habit. And habits can be broken, just as discipline can be built. The moment you stop calling yourself lazy and start calling yourself responsible, your thinking begins to change. The moment your thinking changes, your actions begin to change. The moment your actions change, your life begins to change. That's how transformation works.
Not in one dramatic moment, but in thousands of quiet victories over yourself. One alarm you don't snooze. One workout you don't skip. One chapter you choose to read. One task you finish before seeking entertainment. One promise you keep. Then another and another. Until one day, people begin asking what happened to you. They'll say you became more focused,
more confident, more disciplined, more successful. They'll think something extraordinary happened overnight. Smile, because you'll know the truth. The greatest victory wasn't over your circumstances. It was over yourself. You didn't wait for motivation. You created momentum. You didn't wait for opportunity. You prepared for it. You didn't wait for life to become easier. You became stronger. So when tomorrow morning arrives, don't ask yourself if you feel ready. Ask yourself if your future deserves today's effort. Don't ask whether the work is difficult. Ask whether staying the same is more painful. Because one day, the version of you who refused to surrender to laziness will look back with gratitude. Not because the road was easy, but because you finally understood one life-changing truth. The person who conquers themselves can accomplish what once seemed impossible. So stand up, turn off the excuses, silence the voice that says later. Take the first step, then the second, then the third. Because every step you take away from laziness is a step toward the life you've always imagined. And the day you decide to kill laziness is the day your real life finally begins.